everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. This week I'm not going on a run, or rather I am going on lots of runs, but they are very short and they are very slow, so I'm not going to take you along with me. And the reason for that is that it is sweltering here in the UK. Our version of sweltering, of course, is quite different from most countries' versions, but it is getting to 35 degrees centigrade next week and it is currently in the high 20s. So I'm not doing any exciting runs at the moment, and because of that I'm going to be doing a kind of sit down vlog, but this is one of my most hotly requested, no pun intended, vlogs ever, and it is about my favourite running gear, especially for summer. Men, don't worry, a lot of this is also relevant to men because obviously there are men's versions and women's versions of the vast majority of the kit, apart from the sports bras that I will be talking about. So I hope you guys find it useful as well, although of course I will not have tried the men's versions, but my partner, Rhian, does have a lot of them and he really rates them as well. So everything that I'm including in here is tried and tested, often for many, many, many years. I often say that I'm one of the worst fitness vloggers that you could imagine because I don't buy new kit very often and I don't try out the newest ranges of everything, and that is mostly down to wanting to be as sustainable as possible. So a lot of this kit is not currently for sale, but that doesn't mean that you can't find it. So you can find it often on secondhand sites like Depop, Vinted, eBay, etc. And I would really recommend checking those out if you like the look of any of these that are not the current season. A lot of them are also still the current season, or at least still for sale on the official websites, albeit at reduced stocks, etc, etc. So don't hold up if you like the look of anything. Oh yeah, I've got the dog here by the way, and she's got the cone of shame on, so if you see that, that is what that is. I've chosen my 3 or 4 favourites from each category. I'm going to go through... What was that? This is why I don't vlog with the dog in the room. I'm gonna go through tops, running shorts, sports bras, my favourite race pack, like hydration pack, and accessories, things like sunglasses, hats, and shoes. And that is it. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, so for some reason, finding shorts that I like is really difficult, and that's partly due to the fact that my thighs definitely chafe when I'm doing long distance running, but partly also due to the fact that obviously every woman's body is different, so when brands try and create shorts that work for everyone, they often fail. Having said that, these are my 3 favourites. Starting on the left, we have Allbirds bike short. Despite their name, they are not for cycling. These are really, really nice merino wool mix shorts, and because of their merino wool nature, they don't get smelly when you are in them all day, and because of the length as well, they cover the thickest part of your thighs, which when you're running is super useful because it means that they don't chafe. So I wear these for my longest runs and longest ultras, whether they're in hot countries or cold countries. Merino is really clever in terms of keeping you cool when it's hot and warm when it's cold. So yeah, I really rate those. Those are currently for sale at £68. Not cheap, but well worth it. The next ones are the cheapest of the bunch. These are the Elysia short from Fabletics. These ones are probably about 5 or 6 years old, and I haven't even seen a frayed seam yet. So they have, although they're not from a sustainable brand per se, they are really long lasting, and as you can see, they have undershorts in them, which on both sides can hold a phone. So they both got pockets on each side, and that's super useful when you're running because I can put my phone, my keys, my card, whatever I need in there without having to carry a pack. They are not currently for sale in Fabletics, although they were there for literally like 5 years, so I'm really sad that they've gone. I did double check, you can see them on like Depop and Vinted and stuff. Just type in Fabletics Elysia short and they should come up. The ones on the right are my newest pair. These are from Soar Running. They are, I think, road running specialists. These are called the Soar marathon shorts, and they are the most expensive of the bunch at £128, which is obviously not cheap, but they are amazing. So they're laser cut, and Soar have a great sustainability record as well, and they also have room for 6 gels in them, and then on the back they have a pocket that fits my quite big phone in it with a zip, and it doesn't flap around too much. So I really, really like these shorts. Obviously, like the Elysia ones, they're quite short shorts, so I wouldn't probably race an ultra marathon on a hot day in these, but in terms of racing a 10k or a half marathon season or racing in the winter, they're perfect. Okay, so on to tops. The one on the far left is a racing vest, and the reason I included it is because I know a lot of you guys will be road runners and appreciate also things that have really good sustainability credentials. So this is from the same place as the red shorts in my shorts collection, and it is obviously extremely bright, but they do have it in black. This one is the Saw race vest. It costs 66 quid. Again, not cheap, but I think it's worth it for this sort of thing, and I've worn it out several times. It's never caused any rubbing. Because it's laser cut as well, there are no seams, so even if you're wearing a running pack or running all day, you're not going to have any chafing from the top itself. Having said that, I do prefer short sleeves when I'm doing ultra marathons so that I can A, not burn, and B, not get any chafing from my running pack, from my hydration pack, and that is why the next two tops in the lineup are short sleeved ones. The middle one is from Preska, and this is called the E-Grip base layer. Costs 50 quid. The only thing I'd change about this is making it not white. I love my white tops, but they do not love me. When you're running things like this, you know, you get crap on them, and even if putting this through the wash several times, it is kind of going grey, but that also shows how much I've worn it, which is a lot. So I've worn this for probably most of my ultras this year. It's got quite nice longish sleeves, although obviously it's still a short sleeve top, so it's still very cool in the summer, but long enough so that you don't get any arm chafing. The reason I keep talking about chafing is because it's probably one of the biggest ways in which a running top or item of clothing can fall down, you know, like getting blisters. Even really tiny minor chafe can be really, really grating over the course of 50 kilometers or more. So that's why I keep mentioning it. Preska are really great in terms of their sustainability credentials. I will leave you guys to look it up and not bore you with the specifics right now, but they're a small brand as well. I like supporting them, and their kit is just really good. They've got a lot more of a bigger collection. Recently, when I first started wearing their stuff, they really only had a couple of things, but I'd recommend checking them out. They're also Bristol based, which is where I'm from, so I love them all round, and I would definitely recommend checking them out. So this is probably my most worn racing top, certainly within the last year. On the right, we have UIN. I think this is a European brand. I'd be interested to know if you guys have heard of any of these, by the way, because I appreciate they're not, you know, all really well-known brands. This is the UIN marathon running shirt. I think it's currently in the sale at £41.30. I think that's reduced from 60 quid. I think they also have decent sustainability credentials, at least in terms of their factory and the way that they minimise water runoff, waste, and also carbon emissions. I'm not sure about the fabrics used in their tops, but they do talk about microfibers, so that is something at least. I wore this a lot in Croatia during my multi-day ultra marathon out there. Never once had an issue with it. It was really nice and cool despite it being absolutely boiling out there. Never had any chafe, never had any like horrible sweat patches, although they kind of are par for the course with running, obviously. But yeah, really liked it, and on the plus side, it also colour coordinates with a lot of my other gear, so that's definitely an added bonus. I don't usually wear this much colour, but I am quite enjoying this sort of dopamine dressing. If you don't know what that is, definitely Google it. And I have one last top that I've not put in this lineup because I'm going to include it in the bras, which are coming next. Okay, so starting with the one on the far left, this is from Allbirds. I am an Allbirds ambassador, which is not the reason I keep talking about them. I keep talking about them because I really like them, but also it does mean that I've tried a lot of their stuff. This top here is obviously a tank top, and it's got an inbuilt sports bra as well, which is very useful. I would say it's probably not suitable for our larger boobed friends. For me, it is really good. I wear it for like shorter runs and faster runs, but not necessarily for being outside all day. Again, being part merino wool, it is really good for sweat wicking and for not smelling even after several days of use, and that's super useful because I try not to wash my clothes after every single use because it's obviously much less sustainable than leaving them for a little bit longer. Second and third don't exist anymore. They look really horrible on the floor here, but I swear they are super nice. The one on the left here is from Under Armour. They do similar bras at the moment. Definitely check out their high impact bras. I think they're really good. Unfortunately, all of them seem to have clasps at the back, which is fine for running, but sometimes I do struggle if I'm doing like a gym workout with it against the floor. So if you want something that's versatile both for the gym and also for running, I'd recommend getting one that you can just pull over your head. Having said that, the two on the right here have clasps at the back and they are fine. The one on the right is Lululemon. Again, they don't do this one anymore, but they have loads of really great high impact sports bras, and they are kind of reasonably priced for Lululemon, and they also have lifetime guarantees, so if they break you can take them back in and they will replace it with a new one or fix it for you. Probably you're going to be spending around 50-ish quid for the Under Armour one and maybe about the same for the Lululemon, but both of them do really good sales. On the right we have one from Freya, and most of you women will probably know Freya as a lingerie brand, but they also do sportswear and they also do bikinis. This one is an underwire sports bra. It's my only underwire sports bra. bra and I didn't think I would like it, but I actually really do. And that is because it has really, really high support. So if you do have bigger boobs and struggle to feel comfortable whilst running, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. It's also really reasonably priced at £32, and that's not even in the sale, and they probably do sales as well. And you could probably also find them secondhand, or secondhand but first hand, if you know what I mean. Resold on secondhand sites for much cheaper. Love the colours as well, I think it's really pretty. Okay, so we are on to shoes, but probably my second most hotly requested review item. As you can see here, they are pretty heavily used. I actually don't really believe in reviewing shoes until you have thoroughly worn them. So obviously you can give first impressions, but these ones I have worn to nearly the death in terms of this Columbia one on the far right. Nearly to the death also for the Merrell ones, and the other two are looking, well, okay at best, but I have worn them considerably, so I can give a decent review, I think, of what they're like. Starting on the far left, we have, these are a collaboration between Adidas and Allbirds, and they're called the Adi Zero. I didn't think I was going to like these shoes at first, probably because I hate road running and because I'm so used to wearing Hokas, which have a really thick sole, and these ones here don't. But they are probably one of the nicest road shoes I've ever worn because they are super lightweight, and despite having quite a thin sole, you don't feel like you're jarring your knees on the pavement, but they also feel like they give your feet room to move around and just kind of enjoy running naturally rather than having loads of support in loads of different places. If you do need loads of support, these probably aren't for you because they don't have it. They're £110 at the moment. I think they are sold out in a lot of different places, and I don't know if they're restocking them for some bizarre reason. I actually think they're really good and probably one of the best shoes that Allbirds has ever done. Get your hands on some if you can, if you need a new road running shoe and you really like things that are very lightweight. Another great thing about these shoes is they are what I always recommend if people are looking for shoes that are super sustainable. These have the lowest carbon footprint of any running shoe, possibly any trainer on the market, at 2.94 kilograms, I believe. So in terms of sustainability, they're pretty good. Obviously that doesn't touch on lots of other aspects of sustainability, but no other shoe that I know of, other than all of Allbirds ones, actually look at sustainability, not in terms of performance shoes at least. So yeah, well worth checking out if you like the sound of that. The second ones are a replacement for my Hoka Carbon X2s. These are the Hoka Carbon X3. My Carbon X2 and X3 I use for interval sessions, fast running, road running, that kind of stuff that's a little bit speedy. They are not like running on clouds, unlike their Clifton collection, but the Carbon X3 are a lot more responsive. They are kind of solid on the bottom, so despite having a really thick base, you don't like sink into it. These ones are £100 and I got them quite recently. They're the most recent shoe to my collection. I wanted to wait for my other ones to die before getting these ones, which they nearly have, and I'm trialing out these ones whilst I switch over. And I'm really impressed. I've only worn them for a few runs so far, as they are the newest ones in my collection, but I think they're really good. Moving on to trail shoes. These are the Merrell Skyfire. These are a love it or you hate it shoe. I think they are very good for what they're made for, which is faster races, especially sky running, your kind of classic rocky trail race where you are not on your feet for too long. And the reason I say that is I have worn these for several ultras this year. In fact, most of my ultras, I think I've worn these ones, as you can probably see by the state of them. And I think after about 40 kilometers, your feet really start hurting in them. They don't have a huge heel to toe drop. They don't have loads of cushioning. They don't have loads of support. And while that is really nice because they're quite light on quicker races, it does also mean that over longer races, your feet get a little bit sore, and I could do with a little bit more support for those sorts of things. Having said that, I really appreciate the fact that they're really nice and wide in the toe box. They give your feet space to move, and when you are doing those kind of technical trails, they are honestly amazing because you can kind of feel what's under your feet, so you don't feel like you're kind of blind. I don't really know how to explain it, but if you've done lots of trail running before, you probably know what I mean. If you're wearing like a really cushiony shoe, you can't feel anything under your feet, and it is quite discomforting to feel like you don't know what's under your feet. So I'm not explaining this very well. I like them. They've got a thinnish sole and they're good. On the far right, we have some of my oldest trail shoes that are still going. These are the Columbia Montrail collection. They don't do these anymore, and I'm really sad about that. They do one called an FKT Transalp, I believe, but I don't like them. So don't buy those ones unless you have very narrow feet, which I do not. These ones are now kind of ripped to shreds, but they're still working for me. And so I still wear them out on trail runs. They have holes in both sides of both shoes, but I really like them. I've been wearing them for over 2 years now, and whilst I don't wear them every week, they are still going strong, and I kind of wanted to give them a special mention because they've taken me through some really tough races, some long races. They got perfect amount of cushioning, perfect amount of wiggle room in them, and I really hope that Columbia bring them back. Unfortunately, Columbia don't seem to produce trail shoes in winter, so when they did still have them in stock last winter, they weren't selling them, and this summer they don't have them in stock anymore. So that's sad, and that was a probably pointless story because you can't buy them, but if you do see them, be jealous of whoever's wearing them. Finally, we are on to accessories, and it's a bit of an eclectic mix of things. On the far left, we have another of my hotly requested items, which is my hydration pack. This one does actually come with 2 soft flasks, which I think is super useful. Carrying soft flasks on the front I find is more useful for running, because if you're running in the summer and you wear one on your back, it overheats and you end up drinking flavourless tea. This is a 7-litre pack, Montreal collection. It's £115, and they don't sell this colour anymore, but they have recently restocked with a black version, which I've not personally tried, but it seems to be exactly the same in every single way as this one. I get the small medium size, and it is small enough for me, only just, which is something I know that a lot of smaller runners struggle with, because a lot of packs are unisex, which is really stupid because female runners do exist. But I like this one. I think it's really good. It's got 3 stretchy clasps at the front, loads of space for food in the front and the sides. It comes with the soft flask with it. It has space for a hydration pack in the back if you need it, loads of space for clothes and layers, etc., and zipped pockets as well for your phone and anything that can't get wet. I think it's really good. Next, we are onto sunglasses. For those of you who don't know, I am a Sun God ambassador, and these are the new Sun God Ultras. I'm not putting them in here just because I'm an ambassador. I just would have left them out if I didn't like them. The Sun God Ultras, which are the 2 top ones, this is 2 different colours of theirs. As you can see, I've colour coordinated it with my bag, the top one. These are incredible. They're made for running specifically, whereas previous ones have been for a mix of sort of running and cycling and have been slightly bouncy on the face. These are not bouncy at all. They're super comfy all day. They've got different nose pieces for different shaped faces. They don't think that there's a one size fits all, which is of course true, and you can customize them completely. So if, like me, you appreciate having matching kit, then these are the ones for you. I don't think there's anything more to say about those, except they cost 130 quid. They're slightly more expensive than some of Sun God's other glasses, but to be honest, I think it's worth it to have a pair that you could wear all day and not get any nose chafe, which is a thing, apparently. The ones at the bottom I have included because I wear them when I'm just doing very short runs in the sun. They are the Sierras. They cost 55 quid. They're obviously a lot cheaper. They're not running specific at all, but they're super comfy and I like them. I wear them for like non-running stuff as well. Just a note about the middle one, you might wonder what's the point of getting sunglasses that don't have any tint in them. These ones I wear for rainy situations, for sunny situations, but where it's not really direct glare, and for kind of forests, shady things, lots of trail runs in forests, and they're supposed to increase contrast so that you can see where you're going better, but to be honest, I wear them because A, my ponytail flicks me in the eyes, B, it stops me crying when it's really windy out, and C, it stops things from getting in my eyes whilst I'm running. For example, in Croatia we had all of the above, especially like flies, lots of flies, and by wearing these I didn't get the flies in my eyes. It's also really useful if it's dusty or if there's a cold or hot wind. It's very handy. So I wear those ones in winter as well as non-sunny summer days. On the right we have my Columbia cap. I don't know if they sell this exact one, but I think they've got an upgraded version which is called Tech Shade. It costs 18 quid, and this is the one that I wear when it is super sunny and I want to run in the sun but protect my face. I wore this one I think during MCC, maybe at points, and I take it along to most of my runs with me just in case I need extra protection, and it's super breathable. So 2 more misc items on the right. The thing in a bag I'm not going to get out, but I just want to show how packable it is. This is a non-stop dog wear trail light jacket. This was gifted to me recently and I wanted to incorporate it because it is the lightest, most packable tape seams running jacket that I have ever seen in my life. Obviously it does still rain in the summer, especially here in the UK, although not recently, and because of that you sometimes need to carry a tape seams jacket, and also it is included in a lot of ultramarathon mandatory kit lists, and when you don't want something to take up loads of space and you definitely don't want it to be super heavy, this is where it's at. It is absolutely incredible, but it is also completely extortionate. It's probably a worthwhile investment if you have the money. Certainly see if you can get it secondhand anywhere. At 299 quid it is not a steal, but it is probably also the best one
on the market at the moment. So if you do a lot of ultras, definitely consider it. And it is fully waterproof and also breathable, which is like the holy grail of running rain jackets. Recommend that. Above it, we have my headphones, which I get asked about all the time. These are the Sony SP800N, catchy name, I know. The great thing about these is that they stick in your ears and you can put them on sound cancelling setting, but you can also put them on ambient sound setting so you can hear what's around you. This isn't an ad, by the way. I just really like them. I was gifted them back in lockdown and it took me a very long time to decide to start using them, but now that I do use them, I haven't like taken them out my ears since. They're not race approved for many races. For that, you'd have to get things like Jawbone or Shocks, Aftershocks headphones, which don't go in your ears at all. But for everything else and for training runs, etc., they are really good. They never fall out, they're never uncomfortable, and I love them. Great sound as well.
So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was useful for you guys. I'm not going to put any affiliate links down below because I don't want you to feel like I'm being all salesy and trying to push you into a sale of a particular item, and also I don't want to encourage unnecessary consumption. The reason I'm sharing this is because I think it's better to buy once and buy good than to trial out 5 different things. A, you're spending loads more money that way. B, it's much less sustainable. And C, it's kind of just really annoying, like you want to have recommendations from people. Having said that, of course, I'm only one individual. I'm not a professional runner. I am not a professional athlete in any capacity, and what I love might not be what you love, but I would love to hear if any of you guys have tried these things and if you like them, if you enjoy them, or if you have any suggestions of your own. And if you want to ask any other questions or request any other vlogs, please do put it in the comments down below, because I will definitely be filming loads more sitting down ones as it gets hotter and hotter, and especially as I'm out of training for any particular races at the moment, although watch this space, I will be doing lots of sit down vlogs as well as some exploratory trail runs in my very old shoes. Also, one last point, I've started a TikTok. I sort of hate myself for it, but at the same time, I'm having a lot of fun over there. So if you do have TikTok, come and follow me. I think you can find me by searching either Flora Beverley or @FoodFitnessFlora. Likewise, if you do Instagram but not TikTok, come and find me over on @FoodFitnessFlora on Instagram. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next week. Thanks again for watching. Bye!